Hello and welcome to Paper Plays Julie K.
Welcome everyone, and thank you so much for stopping by and checking out my latest video. And today I have another project to share with you guys. It is an altered notebook that I decorated, and this is kind of also a little bit of a continuation video. Recently I did a Spellbinders cutting die haul, and one of my viewers had asked me for some ideas on how to use the cutting dies that I purchased, and so I went ahead and used every cutting die that I purchased and created a project. So most of the projects I created were tags or little note cards, a little envelope, and some different cards, but I did decide to go ahead and use one of the cutting dies to create an altered notebook because I do love creating altered notebooks. And the video that I recorded yesterday was getting kind of long, so I decided to go ahead and do this one as a separate video, partly due to the length of that video, but then also that I do have a few viewers that just like to look at my notebooks that I create, and so I decided to do this one separate. And so here is my completed project, and I do want to show you again, the highlight of this one was that I use this Spellbinder cutting die. It is called Romantic Charger. And there is the number, and this one is an amazing Paper Grace cutting die. The artist that creates these amazing Paper Grace series, she does a wonderful job of creating dies. I love her cutting dies. They often very much speak shabby chic to me when I see them, and they're very elegant. And when I was playing with the different cutting dies that I purchased, I knew I wanted to create at least one notebook, and so this is the cutting die that I decided to create a notebook with. And here is my notebook, and did that not turn out gorgeous? Oh, I just love it. It's stunning. And for those of you that are wondering, the paper collection that I used was this With Love from Frank Garcia. I've had this in my stash, I think maybe for a couple of years, I think. And I do pull it out and create things with it. Because I do have the 12 by 12 and this 8.5 by 11, and I also have the 8 by 8, and I might even have the 6 by 6, I'm not sure. But I have quite a few of the paper pads from this paper collection. So I did start out by layering the paper onto the notebook. And then I layered up after that. I think what I ended up doing after I layered this background piece, I put down kind of a layering lace layer. And I usually do that and cover the spine a little bit. I also paint my spines. These are those black and white composition notebooks, but I do paint my spines with a little bit of like white gesso or white acrylic paint, just so that they're not black, in case you can kind of see through the lace that I use on the spine. So I did do this layering piece right there. And then once I did that, I decorated the front a little bit more. I added another sheet from the paper collection. I went ahead and did my die cutting, and I used some cardstock and some paper from the paper collection. You can kind of see that background white piece there. There's a little bit of pink in it. I don't think it's going to show up on camera. And then on top of it, I did stamp the word Collect Beautiful Moments, and that one is a rubber stamp set from Maggie Holmes, and that's what that one looks like. I do put my rubber stamps, my inside of envelopes, and so this is the collection right here, and then this one was from another company. They were ones that I picked up at Tuesday morning a while ago. But I did love that sentiment that said Collect Beautiful Moments, so I used that with this cutting die. And then from there I did go ahead, you can see I also added some eyelash trim behind one of the layers of the die cut. I also went ahead and layered some pearl trim and then flat back pearls. There's also a little bit of paper layering going on right here that I did a strip across the middle. And then from there I went ahead, you can see I added another layer of pearls around the edge. I also layered some little bit of a small dangle trim that had these pearls already added to it. Also, I added trim to the sides, and then another little like rosette and bead trim that came from Hobby Lobby in the wedding section. I added that on 2 of the corners. I also did that on the back side. And then once I was done with that, I went ahead and finished the spine. And for that, I did go ahead and add this pink rosette trim. And then also white rosette trim on each side right there. And then to finish it off, I went ahead, I had some beautiful little like flower applique trim that I cut up and added to the corners for some flowers. And then I had this beautiful piece of bling that I added to the top. It's a little crown. And I want to say that I maybe got that from Angel Dreams Crafts Kim from her store on Etsy, but I'm not 100% sure. I can't remember on that one. I've had that in my stash for a little bit. And then I do want to just point out that whenever I create notebooks, I do go ahead and add paper to the inside covers just to cover up the inside covers. And then this one I did also go ahead and add a little pocket, and this was a scrap left over from this background paper. That was the one that I showed you that you couldn't really see underneath the pink cardstock. It was part of this paper, and this was just the border of it. But I thought that created a cute little pocket, so I just added that scrap paper there for a pocket. So that is my completed notebook project that I wanted to share with you guys. And again, that featured the Spellbinders Romantic Charger die. Again, these were some cutting dies that I picked up on clearance on the Spellbinders website. And if you are a huge fan of Spellbinders cutting dies like I am, I do have 2 previous videos where I shared cards and little notebooks, not notebooks, but little cards, little note cards, an envelope for a junk journal in the previous video. So I will also link those below in the description box if you are interested in checking them out. And until next time, I hope you guys all have a wonderful day and happy crafting.